So these guys want to talk about JK Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
She's had a pretty controversial past. I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on it? And, like,
Ladies and gentlemen, I thought it was fake, and then I found out it is the truth, and I know something fake. See, I live a fake life.
I do not like to be bullied or pressured into saying things or believing things that I do not believe. I find that terminology degrading. I'm not a birthing person, okay? I'm a woman.
What's wrong with being called a birthing person?
Well, first of all, not all women even have the capacity to get pregnant. So it's degrading to them to be essentially to have their womanhood questioned if they're not
What a point.
if they're unable to have kids to begin with. But also, I mean, look, they'll turn around and they'll say, no one's calling you a birthing person. Okay, does someone need to call an individual who finds the N-word offensive the N-word in order for him or her to find it offensive or degrading? And besides which, I was called that, yes, in a medical setting. And in California, medical providers are basically like told that there will be penalties if they don't use the proper terminology or if they're caught doing anything discriminatory toward the trans community. Now, if they're actually doing something discriminatory toward the trans community, I think medical providers absolutely should face consequences. But the idea that we should change all of our terminology, even toward women who want to be called women, in order to be inclusive is ridiculous to me.
How Anna off the Young Turks became a turf. Like, what is going on? Okay, let's just get it straight. Okay, trans men, female to male. 65% of all trans people, guess what? Have no surgeries. Most of the time, haircut, clothes, maybe makeup or whatever does it. Sometimes just top surgery. I think only like 20% of trans people have bottom surgery. Anyways, so a trans man can still have a child because they still have a vagina. Okay? So if they have a child, they do not want to be referred to as a mother because they're a trans man, and that is a feminine term. So they would rather be called a birthing person. Okay? And if they are going to breastfeed, they don't like the word breast. They would rather it be called chest. Those words do not concern natural biological women. Y'all need to let that shit go. Because when you start saying shit like that, that makes me think you'll think, right? Something wrong with you. You got malfunction down there or something, okay? What is this low confidence bullshit? Because the only people that are a threat to women are white, heterosexual, cisgendered men and Clarence Thomas. So while y'all over here yelling at trans people, they legislating your bodies away and your uteruses away. Your daughter's gonna have your her own daddy's baby. You get some fucked up shit going on. It ain't got shit to do with trans people.
Oh, these guys want to talk about JK Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
she's had a pretty controversial past. I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on it? And, like, do you still like her work despite her bigoted opinions?
So let's get specific, though. Let's define bigoted opinions. What opinions are bigoted? We're going to treat this as a thought experiment. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or what way to think. The whole point is to learn how to think, not what to think.
And that is the issue right now with school. They teach you what to think, not how to think. They don't do thought experiment. That is only one thought, and if you try to understand the other side.
So when you say bigot, you're starting with the conclusion that given her bigoted opinions.
Yeah.
So first let's start with, does she have bigoted opinions? So when you say bigoted opinions,
She has had a history of being extremely transphobic, I've heard.
You've heard. So what? Can you give me an example?
Yeah.
If you look at her Twitter, I think you could see a few things. If you want, I could try and find
see
something.
if you can find.
Yeah, be specific.
You can find one.
So, one of these tweets that she came up with in 2019, she said, "Dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real."
So you find that bigoted? What do you find about
It was
in there?
It was deemed transphobic. Like, I myself...
Deemed is a big word, right? It's deemed. But is it? Because what you're saying actually, it felt, but is it?
What do you find about
It was
in there?
It was deemed transphobic. Like, I myself...
Do you find that transphobic yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have an opinion on it, but I'm just going with what a lot of other people have said.
So let's pause there. Let's not go with what other people are saying. Let's try and learn how to critically think.
Exactly. It makes sense. I mean, let's think for ourselves and not think what people are saying. And then I'm like, you know what? Just because people say it, I agree. Or I want to be part of a group, I agree. So it's like, wait. You're not supposed to be in a group. You're supposed to think for yourself, and maybe people that think for themselves gather together. I think that is the most healthy way of thinking.
So let's analyze the tweet ourselves. So that statement, do you see anything problematic? Disregarding other people's opinions.
She did try and pin some things on a specific group of people.
Okay.
Where does she do that? Can you read that?
But force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So when I hear that, I'm interpreting that as meaning if a woman says that, saying that there's a difference between men and female and then being attacked as transphobic, I think that's what she's saying by attacking someone for stating that sex is real.
That is exactly what she's saying.
Is that transphobic to you?
So, to me, no. Stating that sex is real is not transphobic. It's just a fact of life. It exists.
So is there anything you disagree with in that tweet?
In that tweet, I can't really see anything that I myself disagree with, but I can see why some people would think, oh, this is offensive. We can't have that here or something.
That's the issue. There's so many things people can say that can be offensive. I mean, if I have to be honest, the idea that I'm a cis male, have you ever thought about it that I might find it offensive?
There's an apology tweet.
Let's read that. What did she say there? I haven't read that.
I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it is hateful to say so.
You see anything problematic there?
She's apologizing, so no, not really. If I could read it again.
It sounds like a very similar statement as what she was just saying. She's basically saying, like, I have nothing, to me, this is what I interpret it as, I have nothing against someone being trans.
Exactly.
Live your life, but you just don't get to impose on you can live how you want, I can live how I want.
Yeah.
And let's all,
Exactly.
I found on even the word female reminded people of a dog, but then it reminded people that they can't have babies. And I'm like, it doesn't stop. It's so look at me looking for a word that I can try to speak in a good way. How can I be a friend with you if this is the reality that I have to live through? Look at Anna Kasperi in the beginning, that they turned on her and she was like, I didn't turn on you. Now she is a trans exclusionary radical feminist, a TERF, that quick? The fact that that person in the beginning was saying, well, the only enemy is white man and this judge or something like that, I'm like, you would be surprised how many women disagree with this.
So I guess now that we're looking at it like, oh, there's not much difference between me or her, do you think it's fair that that she's being attacked by a large group of people and people are calling her, like you said at the beginning of this conversation, you said, given the fact that JK Rowling is transphobic, how do you feel about Harry Potter? Now, retroactively looking at that statement, do you think that was the best way to phrase?
No, I feel like an idiot now.
It's okay though, but this is why we do this, to learn how to think.
And he made a good example. You came with a gun loaded, you put it to my head and told me, what do you think? But you better say this or I will shoot you in the head. That's not an honest conversation. And even if it might be a bad analogy, I can actually say this is how certain female feel, or ladies, whatever term, feels in this situation. And it can be kind of scary sometimes because you can lose a lot.
Well, you didn't take a position. You simply laid everything out and let the student reach their own conclusion.
Accidentally, we have interactions like this on a daily basis. This one just happened to be captured on camera. We were conducting a a broadcast at school. I teach multimedia and I teach students how to work with camera and how to be on camera, and the student was getting cold feet to do the newscast, and so I said, I'll show you, it's not difficult, we'll do a little warm-up, and here, I'll just sit here, ask me whatever you want. It's just a conversation. What's something interesting that we could talk about? You know, what's on your mind? And that's the question that came out, and you saw the rest unfold.
And I actually believe this is how you need to speak to students. This is how you find middle ground. And this is how many times I made even racist people my friend with time by speaking in an honest way.
Don't get me wrong, ma cosa kita bong. Buta fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, jam, turloqueta, verdeta, welcome.